Russia just made a crazy crypto move, and I think that almost everyone needs to focus on this at this moment because of what's been happening in the US with regulations. I think now, more than ever before, it is crucial that the US removes all of the obstacles in the way of proper regulations, which means let's stop catering to the big banks. Let's stop protecting the banking industry's profits because that's not important for financial innovation. I want to go over a few things in this video. By the end of this video, you will understand just how important this is to get right. So right off the rip, we go back to November. We go back to November because Bank of England pledges to roll out stablecoin rules just as quickly as the US, amid concerns it's falling behind. 2025, with the Genius Act and the announcement of the Clarity Act, along with the fact that we are now starting to hear talks about the crypto capital of the world being the US, all of these other nations are hearing that, and they want to be first as well. We are essentially at the point where it's the crypto race, very similar to the space race, very similar to any other technological race in history as well. Everyone wants to be first here. The US is already killing it with stablecoins. Obviously, USD stablecoins have been doing tremendously well. We know this year we are going to get yen stablecoins as well as UK stablecoins. These are going to be two major significant moves that happen that can start to erode US dollar dominance in the stablecoin game. I don't expect it to happen immediately, but over time it can happen. When we think about that, if we really want to confirm that the US is the crypto capital of the world, and if we really want to ensure that it stays that way, we need to start pushing on proper regulations and we need to get it passed. We know that this year, the UK is beginning to release their legal framework for crypto. This is happening. They are starting to move forward on this, which is also why they're moving forward on stablecoins this year. This is very important because the UK is starting to move. The EU already moved back in like 2023. The US is starting to move. And around the world, we are starting to see more and more movement on regulations to enable stablecoin payments, stablecoin initiatives, but also opening up the door for crypto itself. The race is here. It already started. Now, we need to ensure that the US continues to win. We have over here as well, Coinbase has warned that the US is risking falling behind because China is starting to push forward on stablecoin yield. At the same exact time that, of course, yes, we have the big banks trying to kill yield. I've been talking about it. I've been putting a spotlight on it. I don't think that you guys need me to, say it again. I think that this is a very big concerning problem in the crypto space. I've made multiple videos on this already. Now, we did get an update from Brian Armstrong regarding this. He joined CNBC earlier today to speak on the failed crypto bill. This got posted from Zafe Crypto. He says that there were surprising elements in the bill and major issues that the industry could not support. This debate in Congress is far from over. Check it out.
Your concerns are with the bill, too many restrictions on rewards, not enough CFTC oversight here. You mentioned issues with the DeFi space. I won't rehash all of it, but you've been working with lawmakers so closely on this. Why did it all fall apart at the 11th hour?
Yeah, well, first off, I just want to say a big thank you to Senator Tim Scott, Senator Lummis, and really all the banking and ag committee and their staff that are just working tirelessly to get this done. And Coinbase and I think the rest of the industry is committed to continue to show up as well to make progress. So, we got to see the draft text on Monday night, and about 36 hours later, as we were looking through it, we started to notice some issues in the bill. And we developed this concern that if it went into a markup, the only way to edit some of that base text would have been through an amendment, and amendments had already been submitted. And so we didn't think it was prudent to have it come out of committee with a bunch of these issues in the bill, which would have been catastrophic, I think, for the average American consumer. And so we decided to voice our opinion about the current state of the text, and without commenting on procedurally whether the markup should happen or not, I'll defer to the Senate on that. And so I think we've got a chance to do a new draft and hopefully get back into a markup in a few weeks.
So even though you've been meeting with lawmakers for months on this, you were still surprised by some of the things that came out in this draft that was released really Tuesday at midnight, I believe.
Yeah, well, this bill is hundreds of pages, and so many of the issues that we'd engaged on were present, and great progress had been made. I know that there's many voices that they are trying to engage with to make sure that people's concerns are addressed in a very bipartisan way. But yeah, there were certainly some things which came out which we were surprised by and had issues with.
And what is your sense about what the next step forward are? I know that you've met with lawmakers today, met with lawmakers last night, meeting with the administration later this afternoon. Is something going to get done here, and what is the time frame that it needs to get done by?
Yeah, well, I think the high-level principle here is that we can't really have banks come in and try to kill their competition at the expense of the American consumer, right? People in America should be able to earn more money on their money. I think stablecoins are an opportunity for banks. They should be able to build great product lines with this. It's an opportunity for crypto companies. Congress and the laws that get passed, they should really create a level playing field and say, this is allowed, this is not allowed. Now, all American companies, go compete, try to build the best products and services. That's great. What's not great is if the banks can put their thumb on the scale to try to kill some of their competition, and they only pay about, 14 basis points on the average savings account. Consumers should be able to earn 3.8% on their stablecoin rewards. And so we're going to keep fighting for our customers' rights and the 52 million Americans who use crypto every day.
I mean, what would you say to the argument that banks have put forward that because of the role they play in the economy, the loans that they make, if they do wind up seeing billions of dollars, as some have estimated would happen going from banks to stablecoin, they say that could have a big impact on the economy. What's your response to that?
Yeah, well, banks don't have a monopoly on lending money. Actually, crypto is doing quite well in this area as well, and crypto is a technology to update all parts of the financial system, whether it's lending, capital formation, etc. So I think banks do play an important role in the economy and making these loans. Crypto should be allowed to do similar types of activity. We're not engaged in fractional reserve lending. That's an important point, by the way, because the bank license, what that really allows you to do is fractional reserve. The banks don't have all of your money there. That's why there's so much oversight, and you can have these runs on the bank. Stablecoins have 100% reserve, right? And they're all the assets now post-Genius are held in this short-term U.S. Treasuries. So in my view, it's actually a safer place to store your money, and crypto companies should be allowed to compete and offer loans just like banks.
Interesting. I know, going back to the timing piece of it, Senator Cynthia Lummis, I asked her if this could be done the next month. She said, look, it might be February.
So, yeah, I mean, listen, we have no idea when this bill is actually going to get passed because, again, there's so many holdups with it because of these big banks. Now, at the same exact time that this is happening, Russia is opening crypto trading to everyday investors. Now, we know that this is not a very big push because obviously crypto trading is already open in the US. However, this is showing us that they are clearly moving fast on getting crypto into Russia in a big way. They want to make sure that crypto is alive and well in Russia, and they want to expand on crypto in Russia as well. Now, we have here that the draft legislation announced on January 13th allows retail investors to buy up to 300,000 rubles, about $3,800 worth of crypto each year after passing a risk test. Now, obviously, I'm sure that this is probably going to be improved on because that's a very small amount in a year for crypto, but we'll have to see what happens. Trading will happen on licensed platforms like those in Moscow and St. Petersburg, while keeping domestic payments in rubles and supporting international uses amid sanctions. If approved in the spring session, enforcement could start by July 2026, building on Russia's legalization of mining and global crypto trade in 2024. Now, at the same exact time that they are doing this, A7A5, which you might not know is their ruble stablecoin, it now is transferring over $1 billion per day. This got announced back in July of 2025, and this continues to grow even today. A lot of people don't even know that there is a Russian stablecoin, but yes, this is starting to expand rapidly. There was a recent update on January 9th saying a ruble stablecoin outpaced market leaders last year despite international sanctions. And A7A5, a ruble-linked stablecoin few outside Russia had heard of a year ago, grew the most of any stablecoin, outpacing both USDT and USDC over the past 12 months. Yeah, this is a very big deal to focus on. Ruble-denominated stablecoin A7A5 increased its on-chain supply by $89.5 billion over the last year, surpassing USDT and USDC. The token, launched by A7 LLC, is linked to sanctioned entities and facilitates cross-border payments for Russians seeking to get around banking restrictions. Despite international sanctions, the ruble has surged over 40% against the dollar this year due to capital controls and central bank sanctions or actions. So again, we are now starting to see Russia not only enabling crypto trading for everyday investors, or starting to at least, but we also know that their stablecoin is growing rapidly, faster than even USDT and USDC. On top of this, we also know that Russia and Iran are increasingly turning to crypto, especially stablecoins, to avoid sanctions, report finds. This was on the 8th, one day before this update. So it seems as though A7A5 is most likely linked to a lot of this. I'm sure that Russia is going to be enabling a lot more things around crypto beyond just trading in stablecoins. We also know that, over here, this is the full update regarding this announcement. We have here that the Bank of Russia outlined a new framework intended to let retail and qualified investors to buy crypto under defined tests and caps by 2027. We don't know when this is going to get passed through. We don't know if it's going to happen this year or not, but Russia is starting to move forward on regulations. And again, at the same exact time, we think about what's really happening here. If we are going to start to see Russia open up crypto, what's the possibility of them enabling yield on A7A5 for Russian, citizens? We have no idea, right? But that could definitely be a possibility. You think it's crazy, but we know that China has been moving forward on this. They've been offering yield on the digital yuan. If we start to see that happen at the same exact time that we're starting to see big banks trying to kill yield on USD stablecoins, this is a very big issue. Obviously, I don't think that these big bankers are looking at this the way that we are, but this is a tech race. We are in a tech race. Those that have the best technology or the most opportunities around stablecoins, they're going to win. Now, do I think that Russia is going to beat the US, or do I think that China is going to beat the US when it comes back to a lot of these things? Not exactly. I don't think that, US citizens are running out to get a ruble stablecoin or even a Chinese digital currency. But I do think that at some point in time here, we could see the US fall greatly behind if we don't get things right. Innovation has been thriving outside of the US for years. We got to remember that. Leading up to just recent, we had a major issue in the US around regulators acting against innovation in the US. Now we're starting to see that change. However, we still have a big obstacle here, which is the big banks trying to pull the strings and control politicians to not only drive regulations that will kill pieces of the space, but also set us back beyond, I don't want to say, beyond what Russia and China are doing, but if we're going to start to see these nations, think about the UK, right? The UK or even the EU starting to offer yield generated stablecoins, that could become a big issue. We need to ensure that these stablecoins in the US can still create yield. We need to make sure that innovation continues to thrive like it was before, and we cannot choke off key pieces here. But what Russia is doing, expect almost every single nation to open up crypto trading for every single citizen. Expect every single nation to push forward on stablecoin initiatives as well. And just expect crypto to become a much bigger topic in the global span of things. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video.